must not publish or divulge information to others about the work you have done with Apotex without our written consent. Should you choose to violate this agreement, you will be subject to legal action. This is what Dr. Nancy Olivery, a Toronto hematologist and researcher, was told by Apotex, the pharmaceutical company funding her research, after she discovered adverse effects to the experimental drug. Disagreeing with her findings, Apotex threatened Dr. Olivery, stating that all this information was to remain confidential or there would be legal consequences. Nevertheless, she did publish her findings, after which she suffered a series of unfair adverse actions from the company and the hospital, including being relieved of one of her positions and referral to a physician's disciplinary board. Her struggle later brought world attention to scientific integrity, and she received an honorary degree from the Faculty of Medicine at Dalhousie.
Good morning, everyone. Today with us on air is Dr. Nancy Olivery. Nancy, we have a few questions for you. The first question: what is your stance on the actions that were taken by University of Toronto regarding your case?
Well, although the University of Toronto did acknowledge that Apotex was acting inappropriately and eventually did accept that it had a responsibility to defend my academic freedom, no steps were taken to meet this responsibility, and I was instead met with harassment. I believe the reason at play was a serious conflict of interest. It was well known at the time, and later well documented, that Apotex and University of Toronto were discussing a multi-million-dollar donation to the university. It was also later voiced by the president of the university that Apotex communicated that if any drug patent regulations were to take effect, it would be impossible for them to go through with their commitments to the university.
Even though you later admitted that you should have never signed the agreement with Apotex that included a confidentiality clause, does the fact that you did sign it have any bearing on your actions here? Why or why not?
Had I known the exact ramifications of this confidentiality clause, I would not have signed it to start with. The issue with pharmaceutical companies is that they tend to be very broad and lack transparency when it comes to confidentiality agreement. They want to recoup the costs they pour into developing the drug and would do so at any cost. Had I not signed this confidentiality clause, I would not have faced an ethical dilemma. I had two choices: uphold the confidentiality and wait until the time period had passed, or uphold my Hippocratic oath and not put my patients in harm's way. To me, the decision was very clear.
The honorary degree will now be conferred. Mr. President, will you present the honorary candidate, Nancy Olivery?
Perhaps one cannot have a sense of justice without a sense of injustice. It is my great hope for all the graduates here that you will each continue to possess a sense of injustice, the better with which to act with courage and with grace in those crucial moments of choice. And that in doing so, may you find the only really difficult choices will lie between red and white wine.
Thank you, Dr. Olivery.